Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Lamplight City, where we are just about to check out a new location.
Well, someone certainly wasn't shy about making their opinion known.
It's a bit of a protest going on here. We've got a protest leader, a bunch of protesters.
People have jobs they need to go to.
Too many have died to allow this to...
Now that is an impressive piece of machinery.
Pretty cool crane there. Wow, this is the HMS Lenore.
I suddenly remembered a joke. What's the difference between the HMS Lenore and Chief Snelling? One is a greatly disliked and untrustworthy sack of hot air, and the other is the HMS Lenore.
That's quite funny.
But the way this gate is set up, I think trespassers should get an award for being able to breach the fortress.
That's probably true. What's this?
Elect Hart Leroy, the man of the people. I think that's preaching to the choir around here.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's have a look at our casebook. So we want to speak to Arthur Devins, right? That's why we're here. So let's speak to the protest leader and find out what's happening.
Me? Are you Arthur Devins by any chance?
Yes.
Ah, there we go.
Miles Fordham, private investigator. Could I ask you a few questions?
Guess so, yeah.
Nice. Thank you. Let's ask about the threat. No, let's start with the protest.
Why are you out here protesting?
Because what Harris Construction is doing ain't right. I lost my wife in the Lygia crash, and I'm not the only one, neither. Hundreds of people were affected by that disaster, and now these bastards are making another airship.
How
It's like
dare
a slap
they?
in the face to everyone who died. I just can't understand it.
What do you hope to accomplish by protesting?
Simple. We want construction of the Lenore stopped, and a full investigation into the Lygia disaster. Not only that, we want compensation for our losses. Royal Maverick took care of all the families of those on board, but the families of the ones in the park didn't get a single copper. It just isn't fair. We aim to make things right. After that, it'll just be a matter of time before people realize that there's no future in steam tech, and they'll call the whole thing off.
Ah, the innocence of the downtrodden. I wish I could be as naive as them. It would have made my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, the last bit aside, what they're asking for is kind of okay. Like, I kind of agree with them. Like, they should get some compensation, and an investigation should be done before they produce another airship, in my opinion. But let's ask about his wife.
You must have loved your wife very much.
Are you joking? I loved her more than there are stars in the sky. She was my whole world, Mr. Fordham, the light of my life. It's been nothing but cold and dark since she was killed.
That's sad.
You're married, aren't you, Mr. Fordham? I see a ring on your finger.
I am, yes.
Then take my advice. Appreciate every moment you have with her. You never know when she'll be ripped out of your life, leaving you with nothing.
Those are some
You know,
words of wisdom.
This fellow was actually pretty wise. Maybe we misjudged him.
Yeah, it's very true when you think about it.
Do you recognize this button?
Can't say I do, but it looks handmade. I wonder how long it will be before the poor soul who crafted that button gets booted into the street and replaced with some steam-belching contraption.
Well, it probably won't happen. Let's ask about himself.
You seem very dedicated to your cause.
I'll take that as a compliment, Mr. Fordham.
There's quite a lot of people who are against steam tech, aren't there?
Yes, the movement is gaining ground and growing rapidly, I'm pleased to say.
I've heard stories about some more extreme members. Do you know anything about that?
You mean the Redites? Sure, I've heard of them. Even met a few. But if you think I'm telling you anything else beyond that, you're sorely mistaken.
Why?
Are you a member of the Redites, Mr. Devins?
No, I prefer more peaceful methods of making my voice heard. Now, if you don't mind, I think we should drop the subject.
Well, he's avoiding it, but I think I believe him when he says that, for now at least. Let's ask about the torn fabric.
Does this piece of fabric look familiar to you?
Looks like it came from some fancy jacket. The type you'd expect to see on the snobs in Leon. I could
Okay.
never afford clothes like that in a million years.
That last bit was a bit of a weird thing to say. Let's ask him about the letter. He's probably going to get annoyed, but we'll ask what his motivation was.
You recognize this letter, Mr. Devins?
How'd you get that? That wasn't meant for you.
I found it at the home of Mr. Malcolm Harris. He tells me you've been sending quite a few of these to his father.
Me and everyone else what had someone killed by that devil machine. I'm not the only one, you know.
Perhaps not, but he told me you were the most persistent.
Okay, well, we can ask some more. The Harris family. They did ask us to keep the kidnapping quiet, didn't they, for the time being? So I think we'll probably try to do that for the time, for now. So Harris family.
What do you got against the Harris family?
Family? Don't know nothing about the family. The only one I got a problem with is Clyde Harris, the one who owns this yard. He's just like all those other rich bastards with their heads in the clouds. The man don't care about the dead. He just wants to make as much money as he can. I'm just trying to make him realize how wrong he is.
Okay. What's the bones and dust about?
Mr. Harris told me you send a bag of chicken bones and dust along with your letters. Why is that?
Chicken bones? Dust? Nah, that's not right. I've only sent letters.
Are you certain of
Huh.
that?
Yes, as sure as I'm standing here.
Right. And I'm the queen. I get the feeling this guy will crack if we figure out what the significance of his little gift is.
Alright, so we've got to figure out what it's about, and then maybe he'll tell us. Let's leave the kidnapping
Good
for
day to
now.
you, Mr. Devins.
You too, Mr. Ford.
They did ask us to stay discreet about the kidnapping, so we'll try to do that as long as we can. So we need to figure out the significance of Devon's gift. We need to track down Linda Walker and find out what SS is. So do we have any more locations that we haven't been to yet on the map? We've got the Spectre Society, the coffee house, the construction yard. Not really. We've got to try and track down Linda Walker, haven't we? So maybe we can ask some questions here that will help us out.
I'll let you know if I have any more questions, Mr. Harris.
No. Okay. Maybe Mrs. Harris?
Sit tight, Mrs. Harris. I may have more questions for you later.
Okay, no. Well, alright, let's go to this place, Mrs. Davis's quarters, and see if she knows anything about the chicken bones.
Hello again, Mr. Fordham.
Hello. Do you know anything about chicken bones and dust?
I'll let you know if I have anything else to ask, Mrs. Davis.
All right.
Okay, apparently not. Well, maybe we'll go to the... No, I tell you what, they might know at the Spectre Society, right?
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
Do you know anything about chicken bones and dust?
Could I ask you about some things, Miss Maxwell?
Certainly, darling.
Tell about Bill. I don't really want to do that.
Thank you for the information. It was very enlightening.
It was my pleasure, darling.
Maybe there'll be something about chicken bones and dust in, like, the bookcase? Secret Recipe, the Art of Seance, Giant Squid, maybe Voodoo? Okay, perhaps known as Voodoo originated in Africa, but have seen migration in recent years. First moving to West Indies, it spread after a revolt in Santo Domingo caused a wave of escaped and freed slaves to migrate to Vespuccia. For years, the religion was practiced in secret, but emerged as a more widely accepted faith after the abolition of slavery in 1840. Let's just quickly scan. Okay, nothing there. Leather pouch, no. Dove's blood, no.
Chicken bones and dust for bad luck in business, huh?
Oh,
That sounds awfully familiar.
bad luck and business. I didn't actually see that. Maybe I skipped off before. But now we might be able to go back to him and ask him about that. See if we can get him to say anything else.
Yes?
We know all about your little bones and dust.
Do you practice voodoo, Mr. Devins?
What?
The chicken bones and dust you send along with your letters. It's a voodoo spell meant to cause bad luck in business. Quite a convenient solution, wouldn't you
Yeah.
say?
I don't know what you're on about.
Ah,
Come
he's
now,
starting to
Mr.
crack.
Devins, I'd appreciate it if you didn't think I was stupid.
All right, fine. I went to go see one of them magic women in Gascon. She told me about the spell and what I needed to do. I don't believe in the stuff, but I thought maybe if I used it, I could scare Harris enough to get him to stop making the new airship.
Well, I don't mean to be one to put a damper on your amateur witchcraft, but it doesn't seem to do you much good.
Yeah. Alright, well,
Good day to you, Mr. Devins.
You too, Mr. Fordham.
let's see if we can maybe get a new no,
We
we
won't
don't.
stand for this.
But maybe we can go and ask our friend in here if she knows anything about any voodoo people, and perhaps we can chase up a lead there or something.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Review case? Maybe?
Can we go over my current case?
Of course. What have you got?
Right, let's go through what we've got.
I found this torn piece of fabric at the crime scene. It's got an emblem with some initials on it.
I recognize that emblem.
Oh,
It's from Solomon Stitching, a little tailor shop in Lyon. My ex-husband had several jackets from there.
Sorry to dredge up old memories, but do you remember where they're located?
I believe it's on the corner of Bonneville Street and Surratt Avenue.
nice.
Fantastic. You're helpful as always, Upton.
Excellent. Well, that's a big clue. All right, let's ask about the button.
I found this button at the crime scene. The child's nanny identified it as the eye of his stuffed bear.
Did you find the bear at the scene?
No, the kidnapper must have taken it as well.
Interesting.
Either the kidnapper is very compassionate, or it's someone who knew the child.
Okay, let's ask about the nanny's testimony.
I spoke with Henrietta Davis, the Harris family nanny.
A sensible place to start. What did she have to say?
She claims to have been unconscious when the kidnapping took place.
She must be an extremely heavy sleeper.
I don't believe so. The way she described it made it sound like she was drugged.
Interesting. Definitely worth looking into, I'd say.
Yep. The Spectre Society?
Have you ever heard of the Spectre Society?
I think so. They're some sort of ghost hunting club, aren't they?
Sort
A
of.
spiritualist group, yes.
Don't tell me this case has taken a turn for the supernatural.
Not exactly. It's just come up as a potential lead.
All right, metempsychosis.
Are you familiar with the term metempsychosis?
No, what is it?
Apparently some mystics and philosophers maintain that it's a process whereby human and animal souls are transferred to new bodies upon death.
Fascinating. Some people have such queer ideas. What's that got to do with the kidnapping, though?
I'm not exactly sure yet.
Sometimes I'm jealous of all the odd things you detectives get to look into.
I mean, we've already
That's
got
enough
our
about the
theory.
case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Yes, we had, and we've got a new place to go and check out. The Tailors or whatever it was. Yep, Solomon Stitching. This is the place. Ooh. He looks like the grandpa out of
Good day to
Stardew
you, sir.
Valley.
Welcome to Solomon Stitching. I'm Jonah Solomon. Please let me know if I can help you with anything.
Just browsing for now, good sir. Just browsing. Some nice
Quite the selection.
things.
But I doubt the typical clientele of this place buys off the rack.
Yeah, probably true.
Isaac Samuels, the prime minister who freed the slaves. They say even his enemies wept on the day he died. I sure hope I get to meet him someday.
Is this
This guy has been in business forever.
okay.
That coat is so dull. I always prefer the ones with a bit more color.
I like the music here.
The design of that coat looks awfully familiar.
That could be the one, right? Which matches the thing.
My grandmother had one like that. I think it was meant to be relaxing, but it always felt like my time was running out. Now that it has, well, it actually is relaxing. Go figure.
That's quite funny.
Impressive collection of pattern books. I wish I'd known about this guy when I was alive. I'd have asked him to make me a suit for my funeral.
The benefit of hindsight. What's this marked
That
cloth?
cloth will be a garment soon. A vest, by the looks of it.
Nice.
Or maybe I'm completely wrong, and it's a treasure map.
Could be both. Why not a garment that is also a treasure map? Would be a pretty good way of hiding the treasure. Right, Mr. Solomon, we've got a chat.
Mr. Solomon? Yes, sir. How may I be of service? Oh, let me guess. You're looking to replace that old coat. It looks like it's got quite a few stories it could tell me.
No, we love
You
this.
should listen to the man, Miles. He clearly knows what he's talking about.
Not today, I'm afraid. There's still a few more stories it has left to tell. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions.
Questions? Very well, but if they aren't about tailoring, I don't know how much help I'll be.
I'm sure you will. We'll get onto that. Let's ask about the shop.
This is a nice shop you have. I never even knew it existed.
Well, better late than never, I always say. Life has a funny way of always taking us where we need to go in the end.
True. Although I think it's easy to miss out on things from time to time.
Oh, of course. It's easy to overlook the details, but in the grand scheme of things, you'll end up where you need to be. And in this case, you ended up here. So, please, feel free to take a look around. Let me know if you find anything you like.
Yeah, we will. Let's ask about the torn
I
fabric.
found this piece of torn fabric with your emblem on it. Can you tell me anything about it?
Yes. Brown, wool, houndstooth. This is from one of the more popular jackets I sell.
And here I thought my ability to name ales within 5 seconds of tasting them was good. This fella has me beat.
Do you have any of them in stock currently?
Well, sure, I've got one on the display dummy over there.
Is there any way you can tell me who you've sold them to?
Oh, I don't think so. I've sold at least 20 in the past month. As I said, it's a very popular style.
Okay, let's ask about the button.
Is there anything you can tell me about this button?
Looks like it's made of wood. Not very well crafted either. Definitely not from one of my products.
Okay, let's ask about himself.
How did you get into this business, Mr. Solomon?
I was always good with a needle and thread. When I was a boy in Poland, I would help my mother with her sewing. Then, during the war with Russia, I fixed uniforms and stitched up wounds. Not long after that, I moved to Vespuccia, settled here in New Britannia. My first shop was in the Chum, but thankfully, I was very successful and was able to move to Lyon.
Good for you.
I won't lie to you, this location is much, much nicer. It's refreshing to not have to step over drunken hobos when I open and close the shop.
Yeah, I can...
Oh, but that's part of the charm of owning a business in the Chum.
I
Not
can...
much else to say beyond that. My business is my life.
You seem very dedicated to your craft.
That's right. You won't see any of that newfangled steam-powered nonsense in here.
Ah.
Everything is done by hand and with care. I use only the finest quality materials and stitch every thread myself. And that's the way it's gonna stay as long as I'm around. It's worked for 45 years. There's no reason to change as far as I'm concerned.
So is he one of the Redites then, maybe? Linda Walker.
Do you by chance employ a seamstress named Linda Walker?
I do, yes.
Oh.
Is she here?
No, she has the day off today, but she'll be in tomorrow.
Would it be possible to have her address?
Begging your pardon, but why should I give it to you?
Oh god. Oh, I mean, she's my sister. We've lost touch. That's rubbish. Her son and mine were schoolmates. Let's just be honest.
I'm a private investigator, and it's crucial to this case.
Well, as I said, you'll be here tomorrow. You can ask her then.
It really is a matter of some urgency.
I'm sure it can wait a day. But if it were really that urgent, I would think the police would be involved, not a private investigator. I'm not obligated to tell you anything, so please, let's move on before I lose my patience.
I feel like we didn't handle that particularly well, but we can...
Please, Mr. Solomon, it's extremely important that I get Mrs. Walker's address.
So you said, but why should I?
We could actually try one of the other options.
I know I said I was a private investigator before, but there's a more delicate reason I want to speak with Mrs. Walker.
Oh?
Her son, Alexander, and mine were schoolmates. I just found a book he lent my son, and I wanted to return it. I've been trying to track her down for ages, and only just found out where she worked.
Oh, I see. It was a terrible tragedy what happened with her boy and her husband. I know how private Mrs. Walker is, but I'm sure she would appreciate you returning her son's book.
Nice.
All right. She lives at 403 St. Agnes Street.
Yes.
Remember when you couldn't even bring yourself to trick people into thinking their shoelaces were untied? You've come a long way, Miles.
I'll be
Yes,
taking my
we
leave
have.
of you now, Mr. Solomon.
Very good.
All right, nice. So we got a second chance at that because we picked the wrong one. So that's pretty cool. So we've got an address for her now, which is excellent news. Also, the fact that she works here and the torn fabric matches this definitely backs up my theory that she's the #1 suspect. So that's where we're going to leave it for this one, guys. In the next one, we'll talk to Linda Walker at her house, or we'll at least head there and see what happens. But that does it for now. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Terminally Nerdy, Paul from the Phantom Fellows, Lyle and Barry Aldridge for all the support. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you all next time.